Hey, what is going on, everyone? My name is JaytheRocketMan. Today I'm trying something new with the interview process. Today's guest is a fantastic YouTuber named Dychronic. He began his YouTube channel uploading various Minecraft videos, but has evolved into a wide variety of gameplay, livestream, and Q&A content. This interview is indeed live, and he is on the other end of the Skype call. Let's give a warm welcome to Dychronic.
Da 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 da! What's going on? How you doing?
Nice. We had just talked previously about how to say it in different tones. So let's go ahead and begin with the questions. So the first question is, why did you begin your YouTube channel?
Oof, long story. Short version of that story is I watched YouTube every single day in high school, from sophomore all the way up into senior, just at lunch or after school. And I always watched these YouTubers, and I told myself, I would love to play video games for a living. I would like to do this. And it was the first thing that really gave me a purpose in life. I don't mean to go too deep on it, but it really is. Like, you're in high school, you don't really have any direction. You don't know what you're going to do as your job for the rest of your life. You don't really have any special projects. And YouTube was that thing that I really wanted to do more than anything else. And at the beginning of 2013, I started posting videos, and I've basically been posting daily ever since with 1,300 videos.
You know, this kind of leads on to the next question. Did you ever think you were able to achieve the 90,000 subscribers you have now?
I did believe that I had the potential to get well over 1 million. I definitely said that I wanted it enough, but the speed at which I achieved it at one point was mind-blowing, especially after the first year of first half year I had like 80 subs, and that was after like 180 videos. So at that point, if you told me I was going to have like 90,000 subscribers a year and a half later, I'd be like, you high as hell, bro.
Yeah, right, exactly.
It's crazy. It really is. It's like every time I look at my room, I started with like the most smallest computer with like a 4x3 monitor with just Minecraft, no hardware for my console, and now I'm sitting in front of the most amazing setup ever, and it's a blessing.
Absolutely. You even touched on this next question I'm about to ask you. So, whenever you first began, did you have any sort of limitations? And this can be anything from discouraging parents to low-quality setups to job responsibilities, schooling, etc.
Oh yeah, I had all of that combined. I started with a computer whose RAM was measured in megabytes. 512 megabyte RAM on my computer with 60 gigabytes of hard drive space. I had a 4x3 monitor. I could only play really like Minecraft at the bottom settings, and it was still like 15 frames per second. I was using a microphone that was actually my Xbox microphone that happened to be able to be used on PC. And I had no hardware to record console. I had no experience in general. I just went to the Pirate Bay, downloaded some programs. Don't tell anybody I said that. And I just started. I just started. I just said, hey, you, me, let's record some Minecraft, modded Minecraft, and let's do some other things, and started bouncing around, and I just learned. Nobody ever helped me out. There was no YouTuber that I was friends with. I started from nothing. And that's my favorite part about my story. Oh, also, I also had school that I had full time, as well as my parents didn't want me to play video games in general.
Would you consider YouTube and Twitch to be your full-time income? And if not, are you trying to obtain it?
I would say that YouTube and Twitch currently are all the income that I have coming in, but for right now, it could not fully support me. I think at one point in my career, I actually had a period of months where I could make this a full-time job, and I was actually at like the middle class average for the money that I achieved, which is like, it was the dream that I tasted for just a little while. It was like a couple months in a row, and it was a beautiful sensation. But for right now, as of the moment, I cannot support myself fully. But it's not that far off. If I can turn my channel around and really like do what I want to do and still get those views, I'm sure it will take off, and it will get way better along the line.
Where did your name, Dychronic, originate from?
Well, my name, Dychronic, came from... Sounds like you edited in like me saying Dychronic. It came from basically... I'm not going to lie, I kind of ripped it off many different sources. My name used to be Slayer7111, and I said, hey, I don't want numbers in my name anymore, and this was before I even had YouTube. And I'm like, I want to make a name that nobody ever has, that I can get on everywhere, so I have to make up a word. And I took a bunch of people's names and words, and I just put them together. One of my friends' name was Midi Chronica, another like a COD professional COD player had like Dyslexic was their name or something, and I really liked those, and I like combined those together to be Dychronic. I changed the I to a Y for obvious reasons, because every time I asked everybody, it was just like, yeah, Dychronic. So it became a Y at that point. And it was a cool name, as well as the fact that actually I considered that it was near the beginning of the alphabet, which is D. So on my friends list on Xbox, I'd be higher up in the list, which actually mattered to me at the time. And then that just kind of became my name on YouTube because it was everywhere and I could get it everywhere and not have a problem.
It's most certainly a unique name, like regardless of who you stole it from. But the next question is, have you ever had to make a difficult decision regarding your YouTube channel?
Yes. If you guys have ever watched my channel, you probably know that I'm famous for doing Destiny content. I did a lot of Destiny tutorials, loot caves, Xur locations, and I did that for over a year, and it got to the point where, you know, just like anybody else, I fucking hated the shit out of that game. And it just became to the point where I have 2,000 hours in a year, and I'm like, I'm bored of this game, yet people still want me to play it. I made the hard decision, and I said, at the end of the year, I'm not posting Xur content. I'm not playing Destiny unless something new comes out. And that was the truth. The April update came out. I've released 2 videos, and I hadn't played from January 1st to April that entire time. And I feel good that I'm pushing my channel into the funny moments and the Let's Plays and the live streams that I want it to be, as well as the funny little quirks and skits. And it was a hard decision, and I'm suffering for it. I've got very little views compared to what I used to have, and I'm losing subscribers every day. But I know that eventually I'll turn it around and I'll go back up with people behind me.
There you go. That's awesome. Definitely inspiring there. So what is your advice to beginning YouTube users?
See, now, YouTube is a fickle mystery, if I'm going to be honest. If you want to be successful, copy what the best people are doing. If you want to be the biggest successful person, make the most original content possible. And that's a weird balance you have to achieve between everything that you do. First and foremost, you should pick a direction that you want to do. If you want to be a tutorial guy and you know that you can't do anything else, you don't want to be funny, you don't like any of those other things, take that strategy, go down that path. If you say that you want to be a Let's Player and you want to have funny moments, go down that path. Look at what other people do and the successful people are doing. Look at how they do things. Incorporate a bunch of things from many different sources so people can't tell if you're copying a single person. And just go with it. Start getting experience and just start making videos. And you'll start to realize if you want to do it or not. Because I'm going to be honest, most people, 99.9% of people quit within a month. So just start. Don't worry about the long term and see if you like it. If you do, then you're on the right path.
Nonetheless, you would tell someone if they want to pursue YouTube to start it now, right?
Yes. Do not wait.
Gotcha.
Most people wait because
absolutely.
they're like, I need equipment, I need this, I need to make this perfect. Nah, bro. Just make a video. Forget about the thumbnail. Just look for a Google and put that as a thumbnail. It really doesn't matter for the first videos. I guarantee your first video compared to your 100th video, your 100th video is always going to be better. So just get making videos, and you'll start seeing what's going on.
Do you see a bright future for YouTube? Meaning, do you think YouTube is going to go down a good path for content creators?
Well, I think YouTube in general is really becoming like a TV network. So it started off as a tutorial as well as a sports venue where people could watch, or a celebrity venue when anything ever went wrong. It started off as somebody wants to rewatch that, and now it's become entertainment channels on TV of people making content in a long lineage of things. And I think that if it continues down this path, there will only be juggernauts in the world, and YouTube will no longer be you can do it, anybody can do it. It'll just be these juggernaut TV channels. But I feel like YouTube will continue to be what it is because it will contain these powerful juggernauts who influence a lot of people.
And this question's already been kind of rephrased prior to this, but have you ever been discouraged with your YouTube channel?
Every single day. You look into the comments. The worst thing, honestly, with the comments is that the first 6 months, I didn't get any. Worse than hate comments is not even getting comments. When you start getting comments, most likely they'll start being hate comments. Maybe there'll be that one guy that comes on every single video that's actually a fan of yours that says he likes it. But every time you look into a comment, you try something new, people are cussing you out, asking you why you did certain things, and it's just discouraging every day. After a while, I just stopped looking at comments. But I came back to comics eventually. But it's not, and it's because of the fact that you have to do everything yourself and figure it out yourself, and it's difficult.
Gotcha. So I'm just going to step away from the YouTube and Twitch themed questions and ask some more personal ones. So
7
if you
inches.
have one, okay, gotcha. Not those kind. But if you have one, what is your biggest inspiration?
Well, I like I said before, I started because I was watching YouTube people, and the person I was watching the most is Syndicate, and he is my biggest inspiration for starting my channel. I aspire to do many things like him, like Minecraft, the zombies things, and he's one of my biggest inspirations nowadays. I lean more towards Vanoss and Northern Lion as YouTube inspirations. And in general, like, one of the reasons I started YouTube is because I wanted to meet these people, because they, like, generally sounded like awesome people to meet and awesome people to talk to. And I actually did get to meet Syndicate when I was at E3. Yeah, E3. I actually, at the very end of the day I was at E3, I was just next to the exit, and Syndicate was just standing next to me, standing like a few meters away from me, and I'm like, I'm not going to give up this opportunity. I walked over there, and I shook his hand, took pictures with him, and I feel like that was a great moment in my life.
Yeah, man, definitely have to take advantage of those situations, else they'll just slip right by. So also, do you have any hobbies outside of YouTube and Twitch?
No.
Okay.
No, I would say I have a lot of hobbies. I mean, I go to the gym. I do school. I play games. But for the most part, I used to do sports when I was in high school, but I haven't joined the sports team. For the most part, like, YouTube is the hobby that kind of turned into a job, and I love playing video games, so that is my hobby, really.
Absolutely, absolutely. If you could obtain a superpower, what would you choose and why?
I was going to say something very sexual.
You can.
But I think either time control or mind control. That would definitely be the superpower I'm looking for. I mean, a lot of people would say strength and flying would be the easy cop-out, but I feel like the ability to control time gives you unlimited possibilities where, first of all, I would love to learn about everything that happened. I'm kind of a nerd, so I'd love to see, like, the Big Bang Theory happen, like how animals progressed, what everything looked like, as well as the fact, like, if you could control time, you know exactly what's going to happen. You can get A's on tests. You can make money at the horse races. You can know what to say before you say it, because I'm kind of a perfectionist, so knowing information beforehand is kind of important to me. But I would say time control or mind control would be one of the coolest abilities to have.
All right, that's definitely acceptable, especially the time theory there. But also, you'd have to fear, like, whether or not it would actually change the space-time continuum and, like, completely have a butterfly effect on time. Now, what do you have? What is your stance on that?
Well, we know for the fact that that's wrong, because when you can't actually go back in time, you have to go to a separate universe where time is at that point, and you're basically just going to a different time continuum and messing that up. And then once you return, you'll go back to an even separate time continuum. So, infinite number of universes, that's how you get back and forth between time. So you can never really... What? It's computer science with a minor in physics.
Okay, gotcha. Okay, that sort of explains that response. Okay, gotcha. You just blew my mind, man. Where do you view yourself in the next 5 years?
Where do I see myself? I don't think I could ever accurately answer that question. If I were to look, 5 years ago, how old was I? I don't even know how old I am. When I was 17, fuck, dude, I was in high school. I didn't know anything at all about YouTube. I just started watching people watch YouTube. And to think about, like, what I was there and trying to think about where I will be in 5 years, there's no way to predict where I'm going to be. Who knows if I'm even going to be doing YouTube in 5 years? Where do I see myself? I probably somewhere on the West Coast, if that's vague enough, and probably doing something with gaming. Or gaming. Let me like rephrase the question. Where do you want to see yourself in 5 years? Do you have a goal of like 5 years into the future? I was going to say something really sexual again, but instead, I want to see myself with a YouTube channel, with a YouTube business, like Game Grumps. They've got their own like building. They have a bunch of people working on a single channel, a couple channels actually. Some people have their own channels, some people, and they all work on this Game Grumps channel together. They have managers, they have editors. I'd love to have like a company of YouTube, just like the way Game Grumps has it.
That's similar to how Yokescast is, right? If I'm not incorrect.
I believe so, yeah.
Yeah, so that's awesome. Yeah, definitely. Did you watch television when you were a child? As in, like, ages of 5 to 8? Okay, so what was your favorite childhood show?
SpongeBob.
Okay, gotcha, mine too. That show was dope.
It was dope. What's your favorite joke on SpongeBob, huh?
Which one? Probably. I mean, there's like so many, man. I couldn't even pinpoint one. Like, I'll use the easy cop out and just say there was too many to choose from. But well, I remember my favorite episode.
Yeah, what's that?
The Band Geeks, man. You know what that one was?
The which one?
The Band Geeks.
The Band Geeks. I don't remember that one.
Come on.
He joined a band under...
It's like Squidward had to make like a band in order to compete with Squilliam. And he like... Or Squilliam, something... I don't know. I don't exactly recall, but Squidward made a band, like an actual, like... You know, he invited the entire Bikini Bottom, and they all went to this thing, and he sung, like... The winter takes all. You know that song by any chance?
Yeah, I believe I know that episode. It's the one where Patrick wanted to play the mayonnaise.
Yeah, you got it. Is mayonnaise an instrument? Yeah, you got it. That was like my favorite episode.
That's a great episode. I gotta say, my favorite joke is when they were bandits because they stole a balloon, and they're like in front of the fireplace, and they're like, hey, Patrick. If we're underwater, how is there fire?
Yeah, that was also the one where he stole like the candy bar too, right? Like Patrick ate his half and thought,
it's like who took my candy bar?
Patrick, you just ate your candy bar. Oh man, too much fun. Also, do you have any fears in life? And this can be anything from psychological fears to fears of insects. So. Can kind of go anywhere you want with this question.
Biggest fear? Probably fear of death. For a long time, I really didn't grasp the concept of death. I kind of had a midlife crisis like a few years ago or something, but like not obviously quarter life at that point, where I actually grasped the idea of like life ending and there being an end to life. I was actually really depressed for a long time, and as far as I go, that was the most depressed I've ever been in my life. But as far as fears, I don't really have a lot of like fears that I back away from. Like if there's a snake on the ground, I won't scream. I will probably walk around it because I do not want to die. But for the most part, like if I'm in the middle of the dark and like taking in the trash, like I'll do it. I'm not afraid of like normal things. I'm not afraid of spiders.
You're not afraid of like physical fear, like physical aspects, right?
I'm not afraid of the common unreasonable fears. Like fear of daddy long legs. I'm not saying that they're super unreasonable, like some unreasonable ones. People are afraid of certain lizards and spiders, even though they're not deadly, but I don't like grasshoppers, that's for sure. I hate grasshoppers.
Okay, gotcha.
Just like spiky and legs going everywhere, and they make a crunch sound. Any insect that's large and can fly can go fuck themselves. I'm saying that right now. They can go fuck themselves. Ladybugs are fine, but like a beetle that takes off, I will freak out. I will freak out.
I'm sure a lot of people can share that, like, fear, man.
It's
if you could go on a week vacation right now, what would you do during it? And if you wanted, where would you go?
Not gonna lie, still thought about a bunch of sexual things. I'm not a guy that wants to travel a lot, but I would like to go somewhere I've never been before. Because it's very common that I go to Morocco, where my family's from. But I always wanted to go travel across Europe. This summer, I'm going to Germany. I want to go to many different areas, like Italy, and eat some Italian pizza. For the most part, I'm not really interested in traveling as much. Moreover, I want to do things. Like I want to go bungee jump in India or something. I want to go skydive.
Sure, yeah, absolutely. Have you ever been in a life-threatening situation? Now, I'm not speaking about just driving a car, but more like specifically extraneous activities or life-death situations.
I locked myself in the trunk of a car once.
I mean, I'll admit that is pretty life-threatening.
The reason I locked myself in the trunk of the car is because it was extremely hot outside. The car was black, and I got in the trunk thinking, oh, there's shade in there. And I'm like, the trunk is kind of open. I'm like, it must be still hot because the trunk is open. So I closed the trunk. And if you don't know, there's no way to open a trunk from the inside. And the car was black, and it was like 90 degrees. And then I mentioned the car was black, and I was in the trunk. Jesus Christ.
Actually, I'm pretty sure like some cars are now made with trunk openers from the inside.
They should, because people are getting dumber.
Oh, sorry to hear about your trunk experience, man.
It was 10 years ago or something. Back in my day. It was over 10 years ago. Oh my God, I'm so old.
Right. What is the toughest decision you've had to make in your life? Now, this isn't specifically with YouTube related like the other question was, but it can be if you would like to phrase it that way.
I can't say there's a lot of tough decisions I've had in my life. I'd like to say I have one of the most blessed lives possible. Not to say that I'm overly rich, but the fact that I'm not overly rich made it so my parents were tough on me, and I didn't have to make a lot of tough decisions. A lot of things I actually like to say I got really lucky on. I wanted to do YouTube, and I actually started becoming successful, but I'm still going to school. It was never a decision that I had to make where I drop out of school and just go YouTube full time. There was never a decision where I like had to choose between going to this school or that school. Everything was pretty straightforward in my life, and I'd like to say that I've been pretty bereft of tough decision.
Okay, gotcha. You're just answering honestly, so there you go. How do you handle stressful situations?
Masturbating.
Okay, next question. No, I'm just kidding. Is that going to be your one and final answer?
Yeah, final answer.
Okay, fine. That's hilarious. If you were awarded a lifetime supply of any item of your choice, what would you choose? Gosh, dude.
I'm not going to say lubricant. That'd be too easy.
Right, of course.
A lifetime supply of anything of my choosing, like...
You got it.
Fancy cars?
Sure, you can have a new car. Yep.
Like a new car every day, sell it.
Yep,
like,
if you wanted to.
I mean, that would be the easy
supply.
option. Lifetime supply. I don't know, lifetime supply of chainsaws? You could say a lifetime...
I mean, you could say a lifetime supply of money if you wanted to. I mean, you can really say anything you want.
But that defeats the point of the thing. It's mostly like... What do you want the most out of your life? I don't know. A lifetime supply of assorted electronics, whether it be headsets, computers, monitors, keyboards, and stuff. I think that's what I want. But if it's like a single object,
single one.
Fruit by the foot.
All right, plain and simple. There you guys have it. Dychronic. Wait, what was it called?
Fruit by the foot.
Oh, yeah, right.
You never had a fruit by the foot?
No, I have. Oh, no, I just forgot what it was
I was about to stab. I was ending this phone call. My finger was above the red button.
I was about to call it a Fruit Loop on accident.
Yo, fruit? Fruit Loop? Is that the same thing? It's similar.
Have you had any really bad jobs?
I don't think I've had a job in which I hated. The past jobs I've had in my life have all been salesman positions and internships. Salesman positions, like, they were just, like, they weren't bad, but it just didn't like doing them. They definitely trained me to speak on the phone and speak to people in person, but in general, I just didn't like them, but I wouldn't say there's a job that I hated.
Gotcha. And also, them training you to talk to people, you think that actually helps you with your YouTube channel? Or no?
I definitely think it helps you socially, a social network, as well as when you're at conventions. Most of the problem is when lots of people on the internet are people who have social anxiety. They don't want to talk to people. And I would like to say that that's the same for me. I'm a very, very shy person, and I overcompensate by being confident, and it increases my confidence.
There you go.
It's a weird back and forth thing, but it really works. You walk up to anybody. Like, I have to use examples. Like, I went to PAX Prime, and I walked up to like every single place, and I didn't wait in a single line because I went up to them and I said, "Hey, I'm a YouTuber. I'm media. I was wondering if I could get ahead of the line and actually play your game." And if it weren't for my salesman experience and being able to talk to people, I would not do that. And I would be sitting around kind of watching other people play games, maybe waiting one or two lines. But really, life is really easy if you just ask for things. A lot of things will just get handed.
Right. Now, if you could high five a person, living or not, who would it be and why?
I don't know.
Hugh Hefner?
I don't know. There'd be a lot of people that I would want to high five just so I can tell people I've high fived them. Like, yeah, no, I high five Hitler. Yeah, whatever.
Okay, gotcha.
I touched his stash. I don't know. I don't know. Like Bob Marley would be pretty cool. Elvis Presley.
I mean, this question's kind of weirder, but I mean, it's a high five. What does that actually signify? Like, is that just hey, tap on the hand and that's about it?
Definitely a hand hug. Like
yeah, of course, yeah,
and wrap the thumb around the other side and hug it. Gotta be like
man.
that. Maybe like some of my inspirations, like Syndicate, even though I've already met him. That'd be cool to
high-fived him. Hand hugged him.
Hand hug him. Hand
now imagine you have just won the lottery. What would you do with your money?
I actually thought about this question a lot when the what was it, $1 billion Powerball was out.
Yep.
My first instinct was I could not use even a fraction of this money. I would most likely, and this is honestly what I thought, would donate like 99% of it or whatever it was to charity, because I would not need it. 1% would be like 300, or would be like $30 million or something, and that's just a ridiculous amount of money. And I would invest it on some YouTube things, maybe hire certain social platforming, and then kind of save the rest. Maybe like get my own apartment, drop out of school. The drop out of school, I was actually contemplating because I'm actually curious and interested in personal enrichment and learning. Because I use bigger words like I use big words to make me sound more photosynthesis, and it makes me feel better.
Photosynthesis.
I really, you got that one finally, but.
Yeah,
I really don't know what I would do with money because I'm really not that fascinated with money, and I don't really want a lot of things. I kind of just want to, I'm mostly interested in fame over fortune for me because I want to talk to people, interact with people. That's my thing.
Gotcha. So, wait,
my
what?
Xbox turned on. Apparently, I said Xbox on in that sentence.
Okay, gotcha. All right. So, have you ever looked into creating games?
Yeah, no. My current my current studies is computer science, and eventually I wanted to turn that into creating games.
Okay,
and
gotcha.
with YouTube, I could collaborate that with YouTube and actually create games for the channel, similar to the way NerdCube's doing it, except for with more experience in the subject. If YouTube doesn't work out, that's what I plan on doing, making games. Maybe my YouTube contacts with Bungie, maybe they'll hire me. I don't know.
There you go.
I don't know. Maybe they like me.
What is your biggest weakness? Sorry to cut you off.
My biggest weakness is that I don't know how to say this. There's a bunch of weaknesses that I have. For one, I'm a perfectionist, so I often don't do things because I want to do them perfectly.
Right.
Similarly, I'm bad at social contact. My biggest weakness, if I would have to say in terms of YouTube, is I don't talk to anybody. I wait for them to talk to me, and I just try to not try, I feel like, at this point. I just need to talk to people, be like, hey, you want to play this day? You want to do this thing? Because I bet if I were to collaborate with other YouTubers, I'd be in a lot better of a situation than I am now, and I really should get into that. And that, for sure, is my biggest weakness on YouTube.
In one word, describe yourself, and why that one word?
Something, deep would be tall. I would say tall.
Tall.
Yeah.
Clarify.
First and foremost, I am tall. I'm 6'6".
Nice.
Secondly, I would like to say there's a lot of me. There's a lot of things in my personality. I would say that if you were to stack up all the different things that I am, it would be a very tall stack. And often when people look at a tall stack, they just look at this behemoth. They don't look at the individual compartments. And I feel like that's also true with me. People don't check out the things. People think, oh, 95,000 subscriber things. You just assume a bunch of things about me. But like in reality, I love talking to like each individual person. When I answer like every comment, I talk to every person in Twitch. I even had a Twitch stream with one person and talking to him all day. His name is Nick, I think.
Okay, that's awesome.
And to describe me, I would say tall. There's a lot to me.
Yeah, so you definitely went all metaphorical on us there. So
Metaphysics.
all right, this one's a fun one. When you were growing up, did you ever receive the sex talk, or did you find it out on your own?
See, now, if you've ever seen my Ask Dychronics, you know that I'm a completely honest person. This is definitely due to my parents being a very forthwith and honest. They never gave me the talk, but there was never really a need to because it was always very open. Like, if I had a question, I would ask it, and they would answer it. You know, they even had, like, books of, like, cartoon stuff. Obviously, not porn, but, like, there's a French thing. My parents are French and African. There's this thing called Titeuf, which is, like, this cartoon to teach people to learn about sex. And my father thought it would be fun to give me some of these books. I don't think they really taught me anything, but for the most part, my family's very open. You have a question, you ask it, and there's no recourse.
We have 2 more questions to this interview. What would be your ideal house pet?
Probably my best friend Caboose. He can live in the backyard. I don't know. Probably a dog. I would like to say a dog. I like to. The dog would take me outside, make me walk, maybe go running, play ball with him. Moreover than a cat, because I'd probably stay inside all day and he'd make me fat. The cat's fault, really. It really is.
Absolutely.
But yeah, I would say a dog. Probably a Rhodesian Ridgeback, to be specific.
I don't even know what that is, to be straight up.
It kind of looks like a brown lab, but like kind of light hazelnut brown with like a ridge of hair that goes the opposite direction on the ridge of its back. It's a very athletic dog.
Okay, gotcha. What is your favorite game genre?
RPG.
Just RPG, role-playing game, huh?
RPG, FPS. It goes back and forth between those. Which is why Destiny, Borderlands are some of my favorite games. Division, favorite games of all time.
Actually, I'll throw in one more question that I skipped. How would you describe your personality? And you've already touched a lot on this. So introverted, extroverted, or in between, and then why?
I would say in between. For a lot of things, I'm actually a very, very shy person. But if you look at the formal definition of introverted, extroverted, it's based on where you relax. Do you relax when you're with people, or do you relax when you're on your own? And I like to say this is true with both scenarios. Whenever I start playing games, I almost always get into a Skype call with somebody because I want to talk to somebody. And that is a very extroverted thing to do. I want to socialize with people. But a lot of the times when I don't want to socialize with people, I actually just like chill out, play Stardew, Farmville, and just be by myself watching YouTube video, which is a very introverted thing. So I definitely say I'm straight cut down the middle. There's no way to say either direction.
Well, Dychronic Ramsey, that is it for the interview. You have answered about, 27 questions just about? It's been about 34 minutes. You have anything else to say for any of the viewers?
I don't think that either of us have answered this question, and I feel like we should both answer this together. How large is your penis? 7 inches. Go ahead.
4.5.
So you've measured. Okay, cool. So what color is it?
Pink.
Pink. Thank fucking God you said pink.
What?
One man's dick is pink, not white.
I guess that's it for us today.
Mm-hmm. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it, Ray.
I knew you were gonna. God, I knew you were gonna throw it back in here, man.
I knew I had to look over to make sure I was on the wrong one.
Okay, God. You're like, I don't want to say the right name. All right, guys. Thank you so much for watching. This has been JaytheRocketMan here with
Dychronic. Sorry.
That's the outro right there.